Once again, it's Gary Wong from GaryWongRealty.com. I have Adam, one of Canada's most respected life insurance specialists, here with me. And I'm going to ask him the most common mistake that policyholders often have when it comes to buying life insurance. Welcome back, Adam. In our last video, you shared the difference between mortgage insurance and life insurance. And if you guys haven't seen that video, just click the I button here. So now, Adam, tell me, in your 40 plus years of experience that your firm has, what's the #1 mistake that policyholders have when it comes to buying life insurance?
Not having enough.
Tell me more about that.
I'll give you 3 different scenarios. So one, when I was born, my mom ran a little daycare in our home. And one of the kids that she took care of, her father was a logger. And he ended up getting killed by getting hit by a falling log. He only had his small little group policy through his work, which was $25,000. His wife had now to take care of this newborn child. They had a home. $25,000 isn't a lot. So a lot of people, when these big life events happen, like purchasing a home or having a newborn child or maybe starting a business, they really should review their life insurance coverage and look at, do I have enough for this moment? Another scenario is one where a business owner, he had another business partner. They both ran different parts of the operation. So you had one guy that was focused more on the financials, one guy who focused more on the actual inner workings of the company and being the key developer for a tech company. Now, the one guy that was the key developer ended up getting a heart attack. And he didn't have any life insurance. So do you know how important that is, or what happened to that company now?
No, what happened?
Essentially, it was worthless because they couldn't bring in another developer to take over this guy's role. So they had this unfinished product there that they couldn't sell. So all this time they had both invested in this company. Now it's nothing. So having life insurance there to have it part of a buy-sell agreement or having it as key man insurance on that key employee, I think would have assisted them tremendously in either finding a replacement or paying off loans of the company, or maybe potentially buying out those shares from the other guy's spouse. So at least there would have been value out of that. And that's just one of the many stories I could tell you. There's many others that come to mind too.
Okay, so Adam, tell me, those stories sound horrible. What can policyholders, or why do people make these kind of mistakes, and how can they avoid them?
I think, well, one of them is going to be budget constraints. So there's always people that don't want to pay more for their insurance coverage, right? They may have bought smaller policies long ago. They might have group coverage. They might view themselves as immortals, right? Some people just view themselves as Superman. Definitely younger, the younger you are. So when it comes to your insurance, though, there is serious consequences to those actions. I would say for a lot of people that have a young family, have a big mortgage, maybe one person in the family is the sole breadwinner, maybe the wife is the sole breadwinner of the family. There's other needs other than just paying off the mortgage. You need things like income replacement to make sure that the kids are well taken care of, the wife has a period of time where she can have some financial stability and they're not destitute. That's the worst thing I see, is when I have to encounter clients that either they didn't buy something from me, like I have friends that maybe never made a purchase, and those are the things I dread. And when I go to sleep at night, is that I worry that, man, maybe I should have talked to my friend Frank. Why didn't I talk to him?
So Adam, how can people avoid this?
I think it's really important that you do have someone working with you. If you don't have an agent anymore, maybe the guy sold you a policy 20 years ago and you don't have someone working with you anymore, it's important to review those coverages at different stages of your life. There's plenty of times where a big life event requires more insurance. And I think for a lot of people, maybe they only buy a small little whole life policy and they don't view the importance of getting more term coverage. And I think that's one of the most important things to me, is that if someone said I have $300 in their budget, I'm not going to go, here's a $100,000 whole life policy, that's all you need. I think it's really important that you have the money there to pay off the mortgage, you have money there that can pay for funeral expenses, burial costs, final tax returns, capital gains, the list goes on and on. Income replacement, I think, is one of the most important and overlooked factors when assessing how much insurance you need. And for everyone that has gone through a situation like that, where they lost someone really important to them, and they have gotten a life insurance check, they never say, oh, this is too much. They never ever go, this check's too big.
Adam, that's great information. As I know, you are a professional insurance broker, and if people out there see this and they really want to get a hold of you, how can they learn more about this topic?
Well, I think, you definitely try and do your research online. I know it can be very confusing, but all the different products out there, and I think the easiest step for someone is to try and find out, where they can find an insurance broker in their area. That might be through their local chamber or board of trade. You might even be able to find more information just about through your local community, like who's the person you're using in your community that you're talking to. And I think more and more nowadays, people want someone close by. They don't want to have to travel.
That's right.
Definitely in the Lower Mainland. Now with traffic, it's not so easy like it was in the 80s, where you can just go 20 minutes from North Van to downtown. That's like an hour commute.
So if they want to learn more about you and what you do and how you can serve them, how can they?
We have a couple websites. So the jungfinancialservices.com, that's going to be our blog, and you're going to find a lot of great posts, monthly posts. Through LinkedIn, you'll find me, Adam Young, insurance broker. If you type that in, I'll be one of the first that come up for Canada. You'll be able to see it probably localized to New Westminster, BC. That's where I'm located. We have an office on the Sunshine Coast. I have an office in New Westminster. So if you want to reach out to me, you can go through my cell, which is 778-229-1846, or my email, which is ajung@dccnet.com.
Okay, so I'll put that information down below in the description. Once again, this is the Everything Real Estate channel, where if you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, or maybe you work in the real estate industry, we are the experts. Ask us the questions, post in the comments below, and subscribe. And we will probably feature your question in the next video. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.